back to the channel. Reese the Sideliner as always. We got a trade, another trade. The third trade of the season has taken place. It's Terry Rozier being traded for Kyle Lowry, bro. About time the Miami Heat made a move, bro. Obviously, they have been rumored to be linked to Donovan Mitchell. They were linked to Damian Lillard over the past offseason, but it just didn't happen because they weren't willing to give up Tyler Hero. I understand why they wouldn't want to do that, and honestly, it was probably for the best. Maybe Tyler Hero could still possibly be on the move, but that's beside the point. The Hornets are trading Terry Rozier to the Heat for a 2027 first-round pick and Kyle Lowry. That is from Woj. The first-round pick is lottery protected in 2027, and unprotected should have conveyed in 2028. For the Hornets, they have no immediate plans to work on a buyout for Kyle Lowry and are expecting to see if they can work on another deal before the deadline of February 8th. So they're not, which I thought they would possibly buy him out. They're going to try to make a deal to move that money. Kyle Lowry about to be 38 on March 25th. His $29.6 million is an expiring contract, but like I said, they could buy him out, but they're trying to, accumulate assets. Kyle Lowry's a 6-time All-Star and NBA champion. He's a veteran that a lot of these young teams could really need or could really utilize in the locker room as far as IQ of the game, knowledge of how to be a point guard. A lot of these teams could use that in their locker room. So I don't know, maybe his value lies in that solely right there. The Charlotte Hornets obviously aren't looking to keep him, and rightfully so. I would, do the same thing, try to get some kind of asset for him, if any, if I could. If not, I don't see why, he couldn't stick around for the rest of the season. They don't have to play him. But you will end up having to pay him. So, yeah, I can see why they want to move on from that. The Heat will save $15.4 million in luxury tax on the trade and create a $6.4 million trade exception. So they could possibly be making another move in Miami as well. The Heat are currently 24-19 and 6th in the Eastern Conference. Terry Rozier, who is 29, gives them more of a dynamic play at the guard position that Kyle Lowry was not giving them, and hopefully they can make another run at the Eastern Conference playoffs. And I really like that move, bro. Terry Rozier is not a superstar by any means, but he is a guy that can get you a bucket. Right now, he is averaging a career high of 23.2 points a night, 6.6 assists, which is top 14 in the entire league, 3.9 rebounds on 46, 36, 82 splits. 4 games this month, he has scored over 25 points, in 2 of which he had 34 and 39 points. And what a coincidence that he's being traded the night after he played against the number 1 team in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and beat them by 3. In which a game he was terrible, 0-6 from deep with just 11 points. But like I said, his team was able to come away with the 3-point victory. But that overshadowed Karl Anthony Towns' historic night of 62 points on 10 made 3-pointers and just 10 free throws. After 3 of his last 4 games, he was unable to crack 20 points. He had 44 points at halftime, which would be the most by a player in a single half since Devin Booker scored 51 in the second half against the Boston Celtics in March of 2017. But when the fourth quarter came around, though, last 4 minutes or so, Karl Anthony Towns was on and off the floor to mitigate the chances of being burned by a small, quick team like Charlotte, having him and Rudy out there. So just to, take away from, possibly them running up to score on them, that last 4 minutes, he was in and out of the game for Kyle Anderson, for Jaden McDaniels. And that really stifled Minnesota's offense because for the majority of the game, that offense was Karl Anthony Towns. Like I said, he had 44 points at halftime. I'm not sure how much the Timberwolves had at halftime. I should have looked at it. But he had 44 of those points. He ended the game 21 of 35 from the field. 35 shot attempts for one player equaled the entire shot attempts for every other starter combined. So that really kind of hurt them, especially in crunch time where it was a 1-point game. It's like they really needed that offense. Anthony Edwards was just 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from deep, but however, he did lead the team with 11 assists for the game. So although his shot wasn't falling, he was a facilitator. And that's, a lot of that comes with Karl Anthony Towns being able to score 62 points. A lot of his assists came through Towns. The Hornets were up by 1 point with Towns out of the game. They were able to extend that lead to 5 with about a minute to go. Minnesota did make a small push to cut it to a 1-point game on some Ant-Man free throws, and Charlotte up by 1 at this point, gets the ball. They're unable to convert on the other end. Minnesota gets the ball. Finch calls a timeout with about 12 seconds left. Draws up a play for Karl Anthony Towns, and he drives. Obviously, the paint collapses. There's about 3 or 4 players on him, and he gets the ball swiped away from him. That's what it appeared to be. He was clearly fouled, clearly smacked on his wrist. He lost the ball. Minnesota has to foul, and the Charlotte Hornets close the game out with the 2 free throws, making it a 3-point victory. And yeah, they spoiled Karl Anthony Towns' historic performance. So kudos to Towns for having that bounce back game. Like I said, 3 of his last 4 games he didn't even score 20 points. So literally out of nowhere type of performance. And funny enough, it came on a night that Joel Embiid scored 70 points. So it was even overshadowed that much more because Joel Embiid scored 70, and they lost by 3 to the Charlotte Hornets, who have less than 10 wins on the year. This is all perfect though. First, you got the Terry Rozier trade that perfectly transitioned me into the Karl Anthony Towns game, in which I just said it was overshadowed by Joel Embiid scoring 70. It's a perfect transition to me talking about Joel's game. He becomes the 4th player in the last 7 years to score 70 or more. That would make him the 9th player in NBA history to achieve scoring 70 points in a single game. Crazy enough, those 2 games happened on the same night 18 years ago that Kobe Bryant scored 81 points. May the Black Mama rest in peace. We ain't seen a performance like that. Like, these players that have scored 70, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Damian Lillard, they've had chances to score over 80 points. Joel Embiid shot 60-ish%, 24 of 41 for the game. So he could have hit a lot more shots that have given him over 80, 81 points. But that's just a record that's probably going to stand for a minute. Maybe, maybe not, because like I said, he's the 4th player in the last 7 years to score 70 or more points. 70, 71 seems to be the range. You got 2 players, Devin Booker and Joel, scored 70, and then Donovan Mitchell and Dame last year both scored 71. So maybe we're getting closer to that. It's only a 10-point gap, you know what I mean? So maybe we are getting closer to that record being broken, and maybe we're getting even closer to Wilt's record being broken. So I don't know. But for Joel last night, he had 24 points in the first quarter, and they really needed all those buckets, bro. They were down, like playing behind for majority of that first quarter. He put up 34 in the first half, and they closed it out by only up by 4 against the San Antonio Spurs. Like, they were actually in this game. It was actually a game. Joel was actually needing to perform how he performed. It wasn't really stat hunting, if you call it, unless you consider that last 10 points of the game where they were up by 15, 20 points. He's still in, trying to break the record. But hey, if I'm Joel Embiid, coach, you better not take me out. I'm almost got this record. I almost got 70 points. You better not take me out. And the fans wouldn't want it either. It's great for basketball, bro. Let's see these performances, bro. 4, I mentioned this already, 4 70-point performances in the last 7 years. It's crazy to think about, bro. The last time we saw somebody score 70 or more, like I said, was Kobe Bryant in 2006, 18 years ago. So, bring it on, bro. I love to see it, man. Joel Embiid, though, for that second half was just it was just a dominant showing, bro, from the post, either right at the rim or from the mid-range, bro. It was literally like poetry in motion, bro. The mid-range was just falling all night for him, bro. 25 points in the third quarter, which gave him 59, which tied his career high. He went on and scored 11 in the fourth, which broke Wilt Chamberlain's franchise record for the 76ers of 68. And, he finished with 70 points for the night. Total stat line, 70 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists. He had a couple assists that was just ridiculous, bro. One in the post, he had like a double shimmy and then wrapped it behind his back to Kelly Oubre for an and one. He hit one, it was like a between the legs spin, and then wrapped it around the defender for another. It was crazy, bro. He was in his bag, bro. He also had a steal and a block. Like I said, he shot 24 of 41, which is about 59-60%. He only hit 1 3 in his game, but the bulk of his points will come from the free throw line. He shot 91% on 23 attempts, hitting 21 of those, and just 1 turnover. So 21 of his 70 points were at the free throw line. So if it wasn't for that, he would have finished with 49, 18 rebounds, 5 assists. But Joel, he's going to get at least 10 free throws a night, so he was bound to have about a 60-point game. But with that being said, bro, Terry Rozier traded to the Miami Heat. Love to see how that will transpire, especially come playoff time. Terry Rozier is a dog, bro. Don't get it twisted. Terry Rozier, he's not that dude, but he is one of those dudes. So I'm excited, bro. He is another. You can't really tell because he was in Charlotte. There's not really much grittiness out there. They were really a young team. Once he's ingrained into that Miami Heat culture that they love to speak about, bro, you're really going to see that dog come out of Terry Rozier, bro. I've seen it when he was in Boston. Since he's been in Charlotte, I say he's at 34 and 39 this month alone. So yeah, bro, it's about to get real fun out east, bro. And more trades to come. February 8th is the deadline. It's only January 23rd, so we got a couple more weeks of this stuff, bro. I'm excited. I hope y'all are too. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.